Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayantiraya Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Seva Bhagavati Uttam Shloke Bhagavati Nashtaki. So continuing with the discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, attaining the Supreme, text 15 onwards. So in text 14, Krishna said, for one who always remembers me without deviation, I am easy to obtain. Usana Pritha, because of his constant engagement in devotional service. So further he says about what happens when we go back to the spiritual world, go to him. Mamupetya punarjanma dukhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanah samsiddhim paramam gataha. After attaining me, the great soul, so yogis in devotion never return to this temporary world, which is full of miseries, because they have attained the highest perfection. So after attaining me, Mamupete punarjanma dukhalayam shashvatam, this temporary world, which is full of miseries. We all know that it's just full of miseries. We don't return here. So then the question is, why did we come here to begin with? So, so different devotees speak differently. So one thing that Prabhupada said was, Krishna is saying, Mam upetya, once you come back to me, then you don't go back to the material world. Means that we have learned our lesson. Independence is still there, but we will not misuse the independence. That's the whole idea. Since this temporary material world is full of miseries of birth, old age, disease, and death, naturally he who achieves the highest perfection and attains a supreme planet, Krishna Lok, Golok, Vrindavan, does not wish to return. The supreme planet is described in Vedic literature as Avyakta and Akshar and Paramagati. In other words, that planet is beyond our material vision, and it is inexplicable because it's the highest goal, the destination for the Mahatmas, great souls. The Mahatmas receive transcendental messages from the realized devotees and thus gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness and become so absorbed in transcendental service that they no longer desire elevation to any of the material planets, nor do they even want to be transferred to any spiritual planet. They want only Krishna and Krishna's association and nothing else. See, one word has come here, Mahatma. Krishna himself, Napnuvanti Mahatmana, Samsiddhim Paramam Gata. So Mahatma word came earlier also, Mahatmanas to Mahabharata, Devim Praga. No, that is in 9th chapter. So Mahatma means one who takes shelter of Krishna, of the spiritual energy. That is real Mahatma. Politically, we can give title Mahatma to anybody we want, but that's not according to Krishna. And what do Mahatmas want? They only want Krishna and nothing else. They engage in devotional service, always engage in devotional service. They receive messages from realized souls, transcendental messages, and they gradually develop devotional service in Krishna consciousness. So they want only Krishna and Krishna's association. Means they don't even want liberation. Mahaprabhu himself said, Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kam mam janmani janmani. He says, Give me birth after birth, but engage me in your devotion. Means he doesn't even want liberation. Of course, Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, but they say he's setting a standard for us too. So if we have Krishna's service, and as Lord Shiva says to Parvati in Bhagavatam, the story of Maharaj Chitraketu, the devotees, they don't care whether they are in hell or in this world or anywhere else. They don't care. Because Parvati ji had cursed Chitraketu. But Shivaji said, devotees, they don't care. Because everywhere they go, they're just going to be engaged in devotion service. And that is the best thing. And so everywhere they go, as Prabhupada said, one who is in devotion service, one who is practicing, he is in Vrindavan. No matter physically, wherever he is. So this is the mood of the devotee. So this verse specifically mentions the personalist devotees of the Supreme Lord Krishna. These devotees in Krishna consciousness achieve the highest perfection of life. In other words, they are the supreme souls, not supreme soul as Krishna, supreme soul as that's a real Maha-Atma. They always engage in devotion. And Krishna says, they come to me after leaving this body, and they never return. Further, he says, Abram bhuvanal loka punar avartino arjuna mam upayate tu kaunteya punar janmana vidyate. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death take place. But one who attains to my abode, or son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Never. It doesn't use any other word. Punarjanma na vidyate. All kinds of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. See, karma yogis, they can attain certain planets. Jnana yogis can go further. Hatha yogis can go further. Or Jnana yogis can go to Brahm Jyoti. But to get back to spiritual world, the Krishna Loka planet, it's only possible by Bhakti Yoga. Hatha yogis can attain that perfection because at the time of their leaving the body, they can direct their soul to go to Vaikuntha Loka if they are that perfect. But Bhakti yogis, they don't rely on their own efforts. So by Bhakti Yoga, performance of Bhakti Yoga, devotion service, we are trying to please the Lord, that you please bestow your benediction, your mercy, and take me back. I'm trying to do whatever you're asking me to do. But just because I'm trying or I'm failing, not achieving perfection, it doesn't mean you are limited. I am limited, yes. But I'm soul surrendered unto you. Surrender means trying to follow his instruction. So that is Bhakti Yoga. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on higher planets, such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka, fall down to earth. So once they are bank balance of pious activities is over, then they come back to earth again. The practice of sacrifice, called Panchagni Vidya, recommended in the Chandogya Upanishad, enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. So if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate, means one does not engage in devotional service. See, on Brahmaloka and other loka, Tapaloka, Janaloka, Swargaloka, so much of opulence. Different kinds of Swargaloka is opulence of money and apsaras. Or if you go higher to Tapaloka, those people living there, they have so many powers. They can travel from one planet to another and just in the body without need for any airplanes. They can do miracles. But do they or can they perform devotional service over there? It's difficult. So even on earth, devotional service is basically, it can be performed on earth only, because lower planets there is so much of torture. How is it possible to perform devotional service? See, even on earth, those who are very, very rich, whether in India or outside in countries, they are rich countries. They say we don't have to perform any bhakti or anything. We are here to enjoy. And those who are very, very poor, they have hardly anything to eat or any means to sustain themselves. Where is time or inclination to perform devotion service? So only of course, anybody can perform. There's no restriction. But it is generally seen the middle class is the one who comes into devotion service. And even in middle class, very, very few percentage who will take it up. So what to speak of higher planets or lower planets? Very, very rare. So, but this is what Krishna is saying. So, Abram Bhuvana Loka Punaravartinu. From Brahmaloka down to the lowest planet, everybody goes through this cycle of birth and death again and again. Repeated birth and death. But those who surrender unto me, those who come to me, they don't never take birth again. Mam upete tu konte punar janma na vidyate. Never. So this is what we have to see, which is better. I mean, going to higher planets, Swargalok, or even Janalok, Tapalok, Mahalok, Brahmalok, it takes lots and lots of either pious activities or yogic practice. But the result is ultimately one has to take birth again. So net profit is hardly anything. But one who makes some progress in bhakti and good progress, then that when he leaves the body, he goes back to Krishna Loka, then no more taking birth again in this material world. So obviously that is a better process, better path to follow. So those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets. And at the time of universal devastation, are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baldev Vidyabhushan in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita quotes this verse from Kurma Puram. Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte pratishanchare parasyante kritatmana manaha pravishanti parampadam. So even Kurma Puran says that when there is devastation of this material universe, Brahma and the devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. So according to their desires means whatever the bhakti they have developed, or whatever mood they are in, whether they are servants or devotees of Lord Ram, Lord Nrsimhadev, Krishna, Krishna again in Dwarka, Krishna or Mathura Krishna or Vrindavan Krishna. It all depends. Whatever their constitution is, they will be transferred. But the devotees who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, that is a key. And it is guaranteed by Krishna, guaranteed by the acharyas. Because many times people who just want to have doubts or just want to argue will say, who has seen Krishna Loka? You talk about Krishna Loka, who has seen that? And who has seen people going there? It is like if somebody lives in India and he hears about America, oh, who has seen? Who can go there? It's all made up stories or this or that. Somebody can say that. I'm not saying America is any better than India. It's just a matter of example. But those want to come here, they can work hard, whatever way, and they can come. So those who have doubts cannot do anything with them. Only thing is just feed them prasada, and hopefully someday they'll take up the process. But this is what Krishna is saying. Krishna, who is Krishna? And this is what Ved Vyasi, whenever he writes, whatever Krishna says, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So we understand, Shri Bhagavan himself is saying whatever is being written here, and it is not just like what any of us is saying. We have so many defects, not Krishna. But that faith has to be there. Further, Krishna says, what is this material world? Sahasrayug paryantam ahariyad brahmano viduhu ratrem yuk sahasrantam te aho ratra vido jana. By human calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day, and such also is the duration of his night. So for material world, now Krishna is speaking, by human calculation, because on earth, so the time changes on demigod planets or in the lower planets, it's different. But from our calculation, 1,000 ages taken together form the duration of Brahma's one day. Let's see what Prabhupada says. The duration of the material universe is limited. Although it's very long, but it is still limited. It is manifested in the cycles of kalpas. A kalpa is a day of Brahma. And one day of Brahma consists of 1,000 cycles of 4 ages or yugas, Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. The cycle of Satya is characterized by virtue, wisdom, and religion, there being practically no ignorance and vice, and the yuga lasts for 17,28,000 years. In Treta Yuga, some vice is introduced, and this yuga lasts for 12,96,000 years. In Dwapar Yuga, there is an even higher decline in virtue and religion, vice increasing, and this yuga lasts 8,64,000 years. And finally, in Kali Yuga, the Yuga we have now been experiencing over the past 5,000 years, there is an abundance of strife, ignorance, irreligion, and vice, true virtue being practically non-existent. And this Yuga lasts 4,32,000 years. Now, even in this, although this Prabhupada is not bringing these figures from his mind, it is mentioned in different scriptures. But if we listen to, say, Brahma Kumaris or even this guy, Sadhguru, Isha Foundation, they say Kali Yuga lasts, no, this whole cycle lasts only 5,000 years. Satyug, Treta Yug, Dwapar Yug, and Kali Yuga. This is what they say. What is the source? No idea. But they have millions and millions of people following them. And according to them, this 5,000 years is about to be over, and the next cycle of Satyug, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali Yuga will start soon. Not according to Vedic scriptures. So Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. So 1,000 such ages, 1,000 cycles of Satya, Treta, Dwapar, and Kali. So that constitutes one day, not even one day, 12 hours of Brahma, because Krishna says, and such also is the duration of his night. In Kali Yuga, vice increases to such a point that at the termination of the Yuga, the Supreme Lord himself appears as the Kalki avatar, vanquishes the demons, saves his devotees, and commences another Satya Yuga. So this is what Kalki avatar does at the end, towards the end of Kali Yuga. Basically, he's going to come and no more preaching. He's just going to kill. Riding his horse and with his sword, he's just going to kill everybody. Vanquishes the demons and saves his devotees, means the devotees would still be there. But they would be living in the forests or on hills. And Kalki Avatar will come, save them, and commences another Satya Yuga. So there is going to be, because Kali Yuga means, and end of Kali Yuga, such a bad situation. And from there, Satya Yuga has to start. So some transition period will be there. And then real Satya Yuga will take effect. Then the process is set rolling again. Again, Satya Yuga, then Treta, then Dwapar, and Kali Yuga again. These 4 yugas, rotating 1,000 times, comprise one day of Brahma. That's a long time. And the same number comprise one night. Brahma lives 100 of such years and then dies. Those 100 years by earth calculations total to 311 trillion and 40 billion earth years. 311 trillion, 40 billion. No scientists, no astronomers, they can figure out what is this time period. And they say, this is the ignorance, that they say, oh, human life as we know of has just started about 10,000 years ago. But no. As we studied in Bhagavatam, Brahmaji did the whole creation from the beginning. Human beings, all 8,400,000 species are there. From the beginning of creation. And another thing, as it says, Brahmaji lives for 311 trillion, 40 billion earth years. And he is about, from his viewpoint, he lives for 100 years. And he has lived about 52 years. This is 53rd year of Brahmaji. That is mentioned somewhere. So almost half, little more than half, is already passed. So if we go by only this calculation, so a little more than half, so 311 trillion, so about 155 trillion years have already passed in this universe, since this universe was created. And if we go by only this calculation, suppose we came in this universe at the beginning of this universe, in the material world at the beginning. So we have been here almost 155 trillion years, Earth years. Not 1 or 2 million years, 155 trillion Earth years in different species of life. And on different planets going up and down, this, that. And how many times we have been through Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga, we say, oh, it's very difficult. How many times we have been through Kali Yuga? It's crazy. By these calculations, the life of Brahma seems fantastic and interminable. But from the viewpoint of eternity, it is as brief as a lightning flash. In the causal ocean, Karan Sagar, there are innumerable Brahmas rising and disappearing like bubbles in the Atlantic. Brahma and his creation are all part of the material universe, and therefore they are in constant flux, always moving. And as Prabhupada says, from viewpoint of eternity, even Brahmaji's life is as brief as a lightning flash. Because from Bhagavatam we know when Mahavishnu exhales, all the universes come into existence. And when he inhales, all the universes go back again. So his one breath is Brahmaji's 100 years. And according to our calculation, 311 trillion, 40 billion years. That's one breath of Mahavishnu. And if we compare that to Golok Vrindavan, that could be one blink of eye of Krishna, and equivalent to many breaths of Mahavishnu. See, from that standpoint, we could be away from Krishna for maybe 2-3 blinks of his eyes. But when we look at our life here, it just seems so long. It just not getting over, or just can't handle the situation. Yes, to be away from Krishna even for 3 or 4 blinks of eye, that is not even tolerable for a devotee. But going by our stay here, can we imagine? We can't even imagine. It's inconceivable. 155 trillion years just in this universe. Wow. In the material universe, not even Brahma is free from the process of birth, old age, disease, and death. Brahma, however, is directly engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord, in the management of this universe. Therefore, he at once attains liberation. Elevated sannyasis are promoted to Brahma's particular planet, Brahmaloka, which is the highest planet in the material universe, and which survives all the heavenly planets in the upper strata of the planetary system. Survives means at the time of partial dissolution, which happens at every evening of Brahmaji. But in due course, Brahma and all the inhabitants of Brahmaloka are subject to death, according to the law of material nature. Jatasi dhruvo mrityu. One who has taken birth is sure to die. So then that is the point, that why go through all this? Why keep on going through all this cycle, up, down, then this, and why? Why take birth again? And we don't know which species, which planet, which family we're going to take birth again. Why go through this? Avyaktad vyaktaya sarva prabhavanti haragame ratriagame praliyante tatra vavyakta sangyake. At the beginning of Brahma's day, all living entities become manifest from the unmanifest state. And thereafter, when the night falls, they emerge into the unmanifest again. So this is about the living entities in a particular universe. So, because when Brahmaji's night means all the activities have to stop. And moreover, up to Swargaloka, all the planets, lower planets, they're dissolved. All the life comes to an end. And Brahmaji, when he comes back in the morning, he has to start the creation, lower creation again. So we all go into unmanifest state. Means just like at the time of full dissolution, we means the souls, conditioned souls, we merge in the body of Mahavishnu. But at the time of partial dissolution, so you merge in the body of Garbhodakshaya Vishnu. And we just stay there for the night of Brahmaji. And that is how long the Brahmaji's night is, 1,000 ages. Isn't it crazy? That's the thing. It's the whole thing is crazy. Why go through? Why do we have to go through it again and again? Further, Krishna says, Bhuta grama saivayam bhutva bhutva praliyate ratriagame avasha partha prabhavati aharagame. Again and again, when Brahma's day arrives, all living entities come into being, and with the arrival of Brahma's night, they are helplessly annihilated. The less intelligent who try to remain within this material world may be elevated to higher planets, and then again must come down to this planet Earth. During the daytime of Brahma, they can exhibit their activities on higher and lower planets within this material world. But at the coming of Brahma's night, they are all annihilated. In the day, they receive various bodies for material activities, and at night, they no longer have bodies, but remain compact in the body of Vishnu. Then again, they are manifest at the arrival of Brahma's day, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate. During the day, they become manifest, and at night, they are annihilated again. Ultimately, when Brahma's life is finished, they are all annihilated and remain unmanifest for millions and millions of years. And when Brahma is born again in another millennium, they are again manifest. In this way, they are captivated by the spell of the material world. But those intelligent persons who take to Krishna consciousness use the human life fully in the devotional service of the Lord, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Thus they transfer themselves, even in this life, to the spiritual planet of Krishna and become eternally blissful there, not being subject to such rebirths. So this is the key. This is what we need to do, rather than just dying and taking birth again and again. But Maya, again, Maya, this is Maya's job. Maya is Krishna's energy. She's so powerful, makes us think this life is all in all, and whatever achievements we get or make in this life, that is it. It will stay with us forever. Nothing will stay in this material world. This is not how Krishna has designed it. So this is to make sure we understand what to do with our lives. Okay, I guess I can stop here. See anybody have any questions or comments?
Nice class, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, from last 1.5 trillion years,
155, not 1.5.
155 trillion years, right?
Yeah.
Keep on coming, keep on coming, keep on coming. Well,
And this is if we assume that we came into this material world, beginning of this material universe, that we were not there before.
hilarious.
This is crazy, really, really crazy.
Yep. I don't know.
Prabhuji, do we need money over there in higher planets?
Where?
Again, who's stupid question? Higher planets, do we need money?
Well, some transactions will be there, but it will be taken care of over there. Just like India's money won't work in America, so earthly money won't work over there. So whatever arrangement is there.
अच्छा तो मतलब मनी वहां भी पीछे नहीं छोड़ा इंसान
I mean, whether it's in terms of gold coins and how we make that money, that whatever arrangement is there.
Going to higher planet was pretty common kind of thing, maybe for certain people, right? For example, Arjuna went there to get the
weapons
from Indra. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
but
people
he didn't get distracted by seeing the opulence there.
Yeah. So my route was there. There was some route from going from Delhi or Kurukshetra to that place. There was a way to go there.
Yeah, but one has to be pure enough to go. Obviously, higher planets means higher qualities that we have to have.
Yep.
Like in Bhagavad Gita, only Krishna says, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastu. Those who are in mode of goodness, they go to either higher planets or better birth on this planet. In fact, Ravan wanted to build a staircase to the heaven from Sri Lanka.
Oh.
So he wanted to send people without all the qualifications. He said, no, I'll send you. He was building a staircase. But then again, even if we go there, what's the point? We again have to come down, die, take birth again. What is the point?
point is, Prabhuji, in 150 trillion year, we did not understand this. No?
Yeah.
Itne rigid हैं. I mean, Buddhu, Jahil, Kavar, whatever we say.
Yeah. Yeah, that is true.
Mm. I don't know.
Sure. So plenty of food for thought.
Yeah, Prabhu, actually, becoming complex and complex. Yeah. Yeah.
Chalo, you all have a safe and wonderful day. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri
Hare
Prabhupada.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhupada.